All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Hi, David. Welcome, and welcome to Thankfulness Thursday. Um, I haven't done this one in a while. The one that this gratitude practice that we're about to do. So just a quick reminder. We try to meet every day. I'm here every day from noon to 12:15, and frankly, in many ways, this is the most self-serving thing I could be doing because it challenges me to have a commitment to be doing these kinds of practices because frankly, if I didn't have this commitment and if I didn't kind of put myself out there publicly like that, there'd be plenty of days where I wouldn't have enough time or just, I'd be busy with something else. And just, that's just the way the human mind works. So, uh, appreciation and shout out to all of you that join in and make this possible for me. So I hope it's a mutual relationship. And just a quick reminder, why do we do this? Well, everything that we do here is intended to stimulate parts of our nervous system, specifically in our central nervous system, in such a way that we familiarize ourselves with both the subjective experience of whatever it is that we're practicing. So be it mindfulness or today gratitude, and just remembering that these are lived experiences that we're going for. These are not just intellectual concepts of like, oh yeah, I think I feel grateful for X, Y, and Z. It's really about experiencing them in our body. And so the idea is if once a day, bare minimum, we can activate these different parts of ourselves, then it makes the sustained well-being that much easier over the long run. So, okay, so today is one of my favorite sessions. I haven't done this one in a while. I call this gratitude for the basics. And the idea is to take a look at many of the things that are happening in the background of our lives that oftentimes we just take for granted, and to actually take a moment and to zero in on them and focus on experiencing a sense of gratitude or appreciation for the fact that we get to live in a society at a time where many of these things are just being taken care of by the anonymous, faceless other humans out there whose job it is to do this kind of stuff. And yet we obviously benefit tremendously from them doing so. And if any of these core functions or these basics were gone, we would certainly feel it. And so I think it's just a really healthy practice to take a step back and remember the basics. So if you can, Todd, I know you're driving, so this doesn't count for you. Close your eyes, and if you're in a place where you can do so, let's start with the basic connection to self, and noticing that we're inhabiting a body. This body is sitting, or standing, or laying down. And there are points of contact with the ground. Noticing that experience of being in contact with the ground. And then noticing the body, feet, legs, torso, the arms and hands, the head. And then, of course, there's breath coming and going. I'm realizing for me, this is actually the first time today that I've really slowed down and I'm noticing what it's like to have breath coming and going in this thing that I call my body. And actually, there's an immediate sense of gratitude that pops up for me. And so now I want you to bring your attention to a sense of safety. Like right here, right now, all of us are in a safe enough place that we get to participate on this call. We get to meet. No one's trying to harm us in this moment. We have some space and some time that we can choose to carve out and say, this is what I want to be doing with my time. As chaotic and scary at times that the news cycle is, most of us here in Northern California are quite blessed with a relatively high degree of safety. Again, I don't want to make any presumptions about what's going on in your life, but you're on this call. Chances are good that right here, right now, you're safe to do so. Just take a moment to actually take that in. Unfortunately, for many humans on planet Earth, this kind of safety is not a guarantee, it's not a given. And this ties into this next thing that I would call a basic feature for us to be grateful for. And that, I don't know what else to call this other than a functioning society. And again, we can get into all kinds of philosophical debates about to what extent or not our society is functioning. But again, the fact that we are able to be on this call, that we have an electrical grid that works, that allows us to meet up in this way, that we have the freedom to be able to make this choice and say, yeah, at noon on a Thursday, and get on this call. It means that there are some things that are going right. But for the most part, there is a functioning infrastructure and society out there. Knowing that I could call 911 if I needed help of some sort, not discounting whether or not they would actually appear in a timely manner or in a manner that I would deem timely. That's not the point right now. It's just noticing that this capacity exists. There are people who are dedicated to making sure that these foundational safety networks and support systems are in place. That leads me to the next piece, which I would call basic infrastructure. So from flushing toilets to showers with hot water to a sewage system, streets that mostly work. Some have bigger potholes than others or flood when the rains come. But again, for the most part, we have this general infrastructure that is functional. The traffic lights usually work and usually rely on throwing the light switch and knowing that the light will in fact turn on at 2 or 3 in the morning when it's dark. It's pretty amazing that that actually works. We're very blessed to live in a time and a place where we have this basic functioning infrastructure. The next one is communal spaces. So most of us have access to be they parks or playgrounds. We can go on hikes, walks. We can take our kids to spaces that are shared by the community. And again, all of this is maintained by people we don't know, but this is their job. This is what they do. They wake up in the mornings and they go and clean or fix or take care of these communal spaces so that we can walk down the street or drive our car and end up in a place that is, for the most part, safe and clean and functioning. Again, it's not a given in most parts of the world. And then there's access to food. I'm still routinely dumbstruck by how amazing, how many different varieties of everything there is in the grocery stores that we have, or the pharmacies, the drugstores that we go to. It's just shelves and shelves filled with different types of milks and cheeses and vegetables, and it's astounding. And it's not until you're without that, or you go to a place where that abundance of or variety of food is not available, that you realize how amazing this part of the world is, where we can choose from such a variety of different foods. And oftentimes these stores are also open at crazy hours. You can walk into a Safeway at 10 at night and go get whatever organic food that is desired. And yeah, it's pretty astounding that we get to benefit in that way. And on the flip side of that kind of consumption is waste and garbage. You know, here where I live, garbage night is Sunday nights because they garbage people come on Monday mornings. And even saying it like that sounds like, there's the garbage people. There's a whole bunch of people that just take the garbage away. Like, where does it go? What happens to it? Um, yeah, there's again this whole infrastructure to be grateful for that allows us to manage what happens with our waste and our compost and our recycling. And it's just handled. Sometimes it's not satisfying the way it's handled, but for the most part, it's handled and it's taken care of. And the garbage isn't just overflowing in our gutters or in our streets. And that in and of itself is something to be incredibly grateful for. And then last but not least is the sense of convenience. We live in an incredibly convenient society, and everything that I've mentioned so far, safety makes things more convenient, as does a functioning infrastructure. Um, Being able to pick up my phone and go on an app and order food and then be able to get in my car and drive down streets that have stop signs and traffic lights and aren't flooding despite the heavy rains because the gutters are working. And I end up at the restaurant and they've neatly packaged up my Mediterranean platter or my burrito, whatever it is that I've chosen to, to eat. I can go and pick it up and drive back home and turn on the lights and turn on the heater and sit with my family. And it's all pretty amazingly convenient. I think oftentimes we just take it for granted, but it's not so for most of the world, in fact. So just taking that in for a moment. And then taking a deep breath in, exhale all the way through your mouth. Taking another deep breath in. And on this exhale, go ahead and open your eyes. Come on back to the session. Truth is, I could keep doing this one for easily another 20 minutes or so, but we're out of time. So I'm hoping that was a useful reminder of, as you go through the rest of your day, just look around and see all the stuff that's right there and it's working and it's there to make your life safer and better and easier. And then think of the people that are contributing to making that happen. And it can actually be an incredibly overwhelming sense of gratitude for being allowed to be alive here and now in this part of the world. So hope that was helpful. Take care, everyone. See you tomorrow.